Welcome to the Deep Dive. So today, forget the sort of abstract advice about, following your passion.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
We do. Today, we're actually digging into some real stories. People who really did it, built profitable businesses from things they just love doing. We've got 3 pretty different examples to look at, moving way past the theory.
And the goal really is to pull out the key stuff, right? The actionable things you listening might use if you're thinking about this yourself.
Exactly. Turning that spark, that fire, into maybe, a paycheck.
Right. And passion, it is important. We talk about it for a reason. It's your fuel, isn't it?
Definitely. Gets you through the tough stuff.
Yeah, that resilience. And there's an authenticity that comes with it. You can sort of feel it when someone genuinely loves their work. It just, it resonates.
But, and this is the big but, we see in these stories, passion alone. It's not quite enough, is it?
No, it's like the starting point, the spark maybe. But you need more.
It's like having a great engine, but no wheels, no direction. It needs to connect to something real in the world.
Precisely. Like solving a problem for someone or offering a skill people actually need.
And our sources today show exactly how that connection happened.
Yeah.
So first up, we've got Sarah. She turned her DIY hobby, crafts and things, into a 6-figure income.
Wow. Okay.
Then there's Mulek. He was a musician, gigs here and there, kind of unpredictable.
The classic struggle.
Right. And he transitioned into creating digital courses. Very different path.
And the third?
Priya. This one's fascinating. She used her family's traditional recipes, things from her grandmother, and built a global brand around them.
That sounds amazing. So 3 really distinct journeys.
Totally. But what's really compelling, I think, is how each of them took something deeply personal and found a way to make it valuable to other people. It wasn't just about their own enjoyment.
It was about spotting a need or a gap they could fill because of their passion. That's the interesting link.
Okay, so let's kick things off with Sarah. Her passion was like home decor stuff, making macrame, candles, wooden signs, the kind of thing.
The handmade aesthetic.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Exactly. And it was just a hobby for years. Something she did for fun, maybe like some hobbies our listeners have right now.
Sure, lots of people have creative outlets.
But here's where it shifted. 2020, the lockdown.
Right. A catalyst for many people.
Yeah, she had more time, like a lot of us. And she started almost just to share, posting her creations on Instagram, on Etsy, and, people started buying them.
Just like that, orders started coming in.
Pretty much. But what's key here, I think, is what she did next. She didn't just, pocket the cash.
What did she do?
She actually reinvested it, focused on better materials, making her stuff look more professional, better branding.
Okay, so taking it seriously from the get-go, even when it was small. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Treating it like a real business, even in those super early days. That seems crucial.
Definitely. And did she have a specific strategy beyond just posting pictures?
She did, actually. Made some smart moves. First, she niched down, focused specifically on minimalist home decor.
Smart. Instead of trying to do everything.
Exactly. Gave her a focus.
Yeah.
Became the go-to person for that style. And her content wasn't just glossy product shots.
What else did she share?
Behind-the-scenes stuff, showing her making things. People love that connection.
Yeah, it builds trust, makes it more personal.
Totally. Plus, she offered customizations, which, gives it a premium feel, lets you charge a bit more.
Right. Adds value.
And here's something interesting. Even with those first few sales, she started building an email list right away.
Wow. Okay. That is forward thinking for an early stage creator. What does that signal to you?
It says she wasn't just thinking about the next sale, right? She was thinking long-term, building relationships, community.
Yeah, nurturing those early customers. That's gold. And the niche focus, like you said, probably helped her stand out in what can be a really crowded online space.
No doubt. So fast forward just 2 years. Get this. She was bringing in over $100,000 a year.
Wow. From a hobby started during lockdown.
Yep. Doing what she loved. From home. It just shows, passion plus consistent effort plus using the right tools. It can actually work.
That's a powerful example. Okay, so passion, consistency, smart platform use. What about Malik? His story sounds quite different.
It really is. Malik loved music, played guitar, taught guitar, but he had that classic problem.
The feast or famine of a gigging musician.
Exactly. Super unpredictable income. Lots of talented people face that, right? The traditional path for your passion isn't always financially stable.
So true. What was his turning point?
It was actually pretty simple, almost like an offhand comment. A student just said, hey, why don't you put your lessons online?
Huh. Sometimes it's that simple, isn't it? A little nudge.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that little comment sparked this whole big shift. He started creating digital courses, eventually built up a whole online academy for guitar beginners.
Okay, interesting. Did he just put general lessons up, or did he focus?
He focused. And this is key again, I think. He niched down to guitar for busy beginners.
Ah, see, that's clever. Speaks directly to a specific problem, a specific type of person.
Totally. He knew exactly who he was trying to help, someone who wants to learn, but, doesn't have hours and hours to practice.
Tailoring the solution. And how did he get people to find his courses?
He was really smart about using free content, put loads of useful lessons up on YouTube.
Building trust, showing his value first.
Precisely. Giving away real value to attract the right audience. Then he had this, like a product ladder.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he offered different things at different prices, maybe some cheap introductory guides or lessons first.
Yeah, okay. Low barrier to entry.
Yeah, let people get a taste of his teaching. Then he'd offer the more, comprehensive premium courses after that.
That makes sense. It's like a pathway. Build trust, demonstrate value, then offer the bigger solution. It's a classic model, often called a value ladder.
And one other thing he did, strategic partnerships.
Collaborating with others.
Yep. He teamed up with, influencers or other people in the music space, got his name out there to their audiences.
That's a really effective way to get visibility quickly, tapping into existing communities. Smart move.
Super smart. And the result for Melik, he's now earning multiple six figures.
Wow.
Mostly passive income from the courses. And he still gets to play music, do what he loves, but without that financial stress.
That's the dream for many creatives, isn't it? Scalable income from your passion.
Absolutely. And the big takeaway here seems to be if your passion involves knowledge or a skill.
Like teaching guitar.
Right. Digitizing that, putting it online can open up huge possibilities. You can reach way more people than you ever could in person.
Yeah, it breaks down those geographical barriers completely.
Yeah.
And allows for that recurring, scalable income.
Okay, really powerful. So Sarah used platforms and consistency. Melik digitized his skill. What about Priya? Her story sounds really rooted in, heritage.
It absolutely is. Priya's passion came straight from her family, specifically her grandmother, cooking traditional Indian snacks. I can almost smell them.
Right. And the whole thing started because she missed those familiar tastes after moving abroad. She felt this personal need.
And figured others might feel the same way.
Exactly. That personal connection, that longing for home, that became the heart of her business.
That's a beautiful starting point. It shows how your own unique background, your story, can be a huge asset.
It really can. Her turning point was actually pretty small scale. She started a weekend stall at a local market.
Okay.
Selling homemade spice blends, some snacks, just sharing a bit of her culture, really.
And how did people react?
The response was just overwhelmingly positive. People loved it. And that gave her the confidence, the validation, I guess, to think bigger.
That initial feedback loop is so important, isn't it?
Crucial. So from that little stall, she gradually built it up. An e-commerce store, then a subscription box called Taste of Home.
Oh, clever name. Subscription boxes are great for recurring revenue, too.
Totally. And she even started doing online cooking workshops, making short videos, reels, that kind of thing, which apparently went pretty viral.
So she really embraced the online world, too. What were the key things that made her brand successful, do you think?
Well, first off, authenticity. It wasn't just a marketing word for her.
It felt real.
Yeah. Her personal story, her connection to her grandmother, it was woven into everything. People weren't just buying snacks. They were buying a connection, a story, that taste of home she promised.
That genuine connection is hard to fake, and it really makes a brand stand out, especially in food, which can be so crowded.
Definitely. Her branding and packaging were also really well done. She managed to blend, traditional Indian designs with a modern look, made it appealing to a wide audience.
That's a tricky balance to get right. Sounds like she nailed it.
And she really focused on community. She'd feature customer stories, photos of them enjoying the products, made people feel involved, connected.
That sense of belonging, it creates real loyalty, doesn't it? And probably amazing word-of-mouth marketing.
For sure. And then, strategically, she used the e-commerce platform, the subscription box, the online workshops, those viral videos, all expanding her reach way beyond that initial market stall.
So she combined authenticity with smart business strategy and community building.
Pretty much. And now she's shipping her products all over the world Turn those childhood memories, those family recipes, into a global brand.
That's incredible. What a journey. The takeaway there feels really powerful. Like your personal history, your unique story, that can be your biggest asset.
Absolutely. It's your differentiator.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've looked at Sarah, Malik, Priya, three very different paths. But are there common threads? Things that link their successes?
Yeah, definitely. I see a few really clear ones. First, they all started small.
Right. No massive overnight empires.
Exactly. Small, manageable steps first. They took action, learned, and then grew. They didn't wait until everything was perfect.
That's such a big one. That pressure to have it all figured out can be paralyzing, can't it?
Totally. But they just started, took action even with uncertainty, and they learned as they went.
Mm-hmm. And they all turned their passion into something tangible. A product, a service.
Yes, it wasn't just a feeling. They created an actual offering. And as we've talked about, they really leaned into their authentic voice, their unique perspective.
They weren't trying to be anyone else.
Nope. And crucially, they all identified a specific problem or need for a defined group of people.
Right. Sarah's minimalist decor fans, Malik's busy guitar beginners, Priya's connection to home.
They weren't just selling something, they were solving something for someone. And the final point I see is, well, it wasn't luck.
No.
No. It looks like deliberate action, consistent work, strategic choices. They actively built these businesses.
That's really important. It wasn't just chance. It was effort and strategy guided by passion.
Okay, so thinking about our listener now, someone hearing these stories may be feeling a spark.
Feeling inspired, perhaps? Yeah. How can they take these lessons and, maybe apply them? What's a practical way to start thinking about turning their passion into profit?
Okay, well, the very first step, I think, has to be some honest self-reflection.
Looking inwards first.
Yeah. Really spend some time thinking, what are my passions? What hobbies do I love? What skills have I developed over time? What do I just, genuinely enjoy doing?
Getting clear on your own way.
Exactly. Then step 2 is looking outwards. A bit of market analysis, but don't let that sound scary.
Right? Not like a huge corporate report?
No. It's just thinking, okay, who might actually need something related to my passion or skill? Is there a problem I could help solve? Is there already a demand out there?
Trying to find that connection point we talked about earlier.
Precisely. Then step 3 is about creating what's called a minimum viable product, or MVP.
Okay, break that down.
It just means creating a small, basic first version of whatever you might offer. Could be one simple product, like Sarah's early candles, or a basic service, or maybe just one introductory digital guide, like Malik might have started with.
So not the final polished, all bells and whistles version.
Definitely not. Just something to get started, to test the waters, to get feedback on.
Okay, that feels less daunting. Get something out there. What's next?
Share the journey. This is where authenticity comes back in. Don't just try to sell. Document what you're doing. Share your process. Talk about the ups and downs. Connect with people who are interested.
Like Sarah sharing her behind the scenes or Priya sharing her story.
Exactly. Build that trust, that connection. And finally, step 5 is iterative improvement.
Meaning,
listen to the feedback you get from those early testers or customers. Be ready to tweak things, refine your offer, change your approach based on what you learn. Your first idea probably won't be your last or best one.
So it's a process of starting, sharing, listening, and adjusting.
That's it. And the really encouraging part, I think, is that you don't need to, quit your job tomorrow or make some huge drastic change.
Yeah.
It's about those first small steps. Just starting, building a little momentum, learning as you go.
Okay, that feels much more achievable. So as we start to wrap up here, let's circle back to that main idea.
Right. Passion. Is it enough? We kind of decided, no, not on its own.
But it's crucial, isn't it? It really fuels the whole thing.
Absolutely. It enriches the journey, gives you that why, that motivation when things get tough. And when you combine that genuine passion with a real understanding of a need in the market.
And the willingness to actually do the work, take action.
Yeah, that combination,
Yeah.
That's where the potential really lies. That seems to be the magic formula from these stories.
And just think about the possibilities. Like what passions could become something more? Baking amazing bread.
Or coding elegant websites.
Leading dance classes. Growing beautiful gardens.
Telling captivating stories. Even, dare I say it, being amazing with spreadsheets.
Yes, even spreadsheets. There are likely people or businesses out there who need that skill, that passion.
And the tools are just so much more accessible now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Here in 2025, the platforms, the communities, it's never been easier in some ways, to connect with customers and build something from anywhere.
It really feels like the opportunity is there. So the big question, I guess, for everyone listening, having heard all this, these stories, this roadmap, will you take that first step?
Just the first word.
Yeah. Will you start exploring how maybe, just maybe, your passion could become something more fulfilling and potentially profitable?
It's definitely something to think about. And if anything we talked about today resonated or sparked an idea,
please share it. Pass this deep dive along to someone else who might find it useful.
or spread the inspiration.
Absolutely. Well, as always, thank you so much for joining us here on The Deep Dive.
Been a great conversation.
It has.
Yeah.
Until next time, remember, follow your fire, don't be afraid to take that messy action, and keep working to turn those dreams into reality.